it's still like an hour before they open. Something going on today? I haven't heard anything.
On this channel, we talk about Halloween, Harry Potter, and theme parks. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Good morning from Universal Studios. We are waiting outside the gates fairly early this morning. In today's video, we are both going to try to get in and get a virtual queue for the haunted houses this afternoon. They're about to open up the gates. We're about to go in and get our haunted house on. Let's go. Okay, they did something unexpected. They let us in early. You didn't have to have a virtual queue. You could just go ahead and get in line and get one of these out of the way early. We are in the line for Bride of Frankenstein Lives. Let's go. It's incredible.
Yes.
We just got out of the Bride of Frankenstein Lives house. Oh! Like, I don't even know what to say.
He's speechless.
It's incredible. Like, this is awesome. We are so glad that Universal got the opportunity to do these things. We're happy for the scare actors. We're happy for everybody. Like, I'm just I'm blissful right now, if you can't tell. I am so excited. This is incredible. We've got a virtual queue for the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy.
Yep.
At what time?
3:20.
3:20 to like 3:50.
Yeah.
So we have a little break, quite a long break in between now and then, but we are just going to enjoy the day and get back to you when it's closer to that time. Okay, we took a seat. I was breathless because I've so excited about getting out of that house. But we wanted to touch on a couple of things. So the first thing is it seems like there is some very limited spots. We were in line when the virtual queue opened up for both houses. What we tried to do was to each get one, but we prioritized, since we had already been through one, we didn't want to take a spot from somebody else. So we just prioritized getting, that was our original plan.
Yeah.
But so once they opened them up and we saw how quickly they were filling, we prioritized getting one for the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. So the spots were going almost as fast as you could click on them.
Yeah.
Like, Anna was in charge of really trying to get one because her phone's a little bit newer than mine.
Yeah, so the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, I was trying to get early times because we're leaving this afternoon and I wanted to make sure that we got in early. And every time I click on one, it would say, that time slot's not available, refresh times. So finally, I clicked one that was like 2 or 3 over.
Yeah.
And I was able to get a reservation that way. So I guess everyone was trying to get the early ones as well.
So just from that experience alone, we would probably suggest not trying to get the earliest times. It cost us probably 2 or 3 hours of like time slots because, like she said, she'd click 9:10 and then she'd have to refresh the times and then she'd click like 9:50.
11:20,
yeah, and then finally she just, there was like a 12:10 available. She went ahead and went all the way to 3 o'clock and ended up getting that one easier. Mm-hmm. So we might suggest doing that because I think that's going to be your best bet of making sure that you get a time if they continue to do this after this weekend. So the other thing that we thought was interesting is in one of the queues they are giving you like little glow sticks, which is in the Bride of Frankenstein Lives. They give that to the leader of the group. So I had it, Anna wanted me to go first, so I had it. And it's to let the people in the house know that, like, what groups are together so they can better socially distance you. Mm-hmm. So the way that the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy is doing it is they are actually just testing using only social distancing markers on the ground. Those did exist in the queue for Bride of Frankenstein Lives, but the only thing that they're doing for the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy is using the social distancing markers and seeing, I guess they're trying to see which one works better.
Right.
And seeing if just social distancing markers are enough to keep the houses safe. Sorry guys, stumbling on my words because I am still just so
over the moon.
Yeah, I'm in my happy place. All right. So it is a madhouse here today. So it's been a little while since we walked through Bride of Frankenstein Lives, but we wanted to find somewhere quiet and sort of secluded. Can't handle the crowds right now. It's a little nerve-wracking for us. So before we get started, we are going to talk about like the storyline of the house, I guess, like the plot line, and we are going to discuss how they are maintaining social distancing and how they have taken safety precautions for scares in the house. So we'll say spoiler alert, but we're not going to talk about any specifics of the house, more of how it's functioning. So for Universal Monsters, The Bride of Frankenstein Lives, the story is actually pretty good and unique.
Yes, so basically the story starts off and Frankenstein has a freak accident and dies. And so the rest of the plot is basically the Bride of Frankenstein trying to bring him back to life.
Yes. Sorry, we decided to put on our mask. We had some people sit down kind of close to us. But yeah, we were talking about the storyline felt complete. We've been through houses before where we understood where they were going, but without some sort of description like that. You know, you can generally find like a write-up about what the plot line of the house is. It would have been a little confusing. This one was blatantly obvious to us. We really enjoyed that. All the rooms were pretty fun, like pretty detailed, and it really told what they really drove home the point of what they're trying to sell. The only thing I will say is in some of the rooms, you need to really pay attention because Anna had to tell me about a couple of things that I missed that would have really driven home the plot line. One thing we were worried about was with everything going on, and everybody wearing masks, we didn't know if they would bother putting in the smell into the houses like they are so known for doing. It's there. I haven't been through the revenge of the Tooth Fairy, and we have an individual in the pew too who has a broken nose. Not physically broken. It's broken in the sense that she can't smell. So she doesn't notice them. She can smell good things. I guess I shouldn't say she can't smell. She can smell good things. But anything that isn't pleasant to her, it's almost like a superpower. I mean, in my opinion. But yeah, she can't smell anything. She can smell candles, food, things like that, but
nothing that stinks.
Yeah, garbage, anything like that. Us after today, because it's yesterday it was 1,400. Today it's supposed to hit a high of 1,600. Yeah, she can't smell me, so that's social distancing inside the attraction was phenomenal. We didn't have any issues. So we all know about the team members who are generally just standing in the corner and it's just go, go, go. I mean, just get over there. You know, keep up the person in front of you. That doesn't exist right now.
No.
It's actually pretty awesome because you really get to take in the house. So as you're going through the queues, there will be team members inside on, and they have
these little light up wands that you can see in the dark.
Lightsabers.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's basically a lightsaber. And as you're going through, when you're about to enter another room, if the group in front of you is still in that room, they will hold it in front of you until that room is cleared.
Yeah.
So one of the great things about this is you catch all the scares.
Most of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can't say all of them. I felt like we caught every scare while we were in this first house.
Right.
So I thought it worked out very well. And secondly, you get to, so since they stop you, you get a chance to look around.
And take stuff
just
in.
take stuff in and really, and maybe that's why the story was so obvious to us, because you could really sit in a room and they don't want you just rushing through the room. So you could really sit in a room and take in what they are putting out. Really focus on it and harness all this hard work that they've put in to really drive all that story home. So maybe that's why that this one seemed like it was so well put together.
Sense, yeah.
Because the other ones, I mean, I bet it took, generally I would say the houses take, what, Anna, 2-3 minutes to go through, maybe 4 if it's a longer one. I would say this walkthrough was 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's much longer.
It's much longer. I mean, it didn't seem like 10 minutes because we we're having a blast. This is the first little bit of haunts or Halloween that we've had this year, so it was awesome being in there. But I'm so excited about Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. The other thing that we've forgot to mention was the functionality of it, like how they're getting away with doing this, because the scare actors aren't 6 feet away from you.
Right. The way that they have set up the houses is that, first of all of the scare actors have on some sort of like character mask that is covering their face, their mouth. And secondly, they have set up like plexiglass screens between you and the scare actors.
Yeah, I wanted to add, I'm pretty sure. So while we were in line, we were actually in a really great place. We got to see the cast coming in dressed up, and I believe that even the scare actors that have the mask on, they have a mask. They have like
a face mask,
like a surgical mask or something underneath that as well.
Yeah.
While it's a good thing, I mean, us being able to do this, all of us. I'm not talking about just us. It's a great thing. The only downside I would say to it is the plexiglass gives away some of the scares.
Yeah, absolutely. You know where to look.
Because it's a big, the lights reflect off the plexiglass, so it's very obvious where they're going to be. But after you've been through enough houses, you sort of start getting an idea of where they're going to be anyways.
Right.
However, there are, every once in a while, some of the really good houses here at Halloween Horror Nights, or at Halloween Horror Nights of the past. They hide the scares pretty well. Like there's some houses that hide scares better than other ones.
Right.
So far, which, like I said, I've just been in one of the houses. She's been in both, but I've told her not to spoil them for me. It's very obvious where the scares are in these houses so far, which is fine. We are getting to experience it.
Well, but even, at least for me, even when I know they're coming, it still gets me. So it doesn't really make a difference for me.
I've seen her jump at our popcorn popping at home, so that does not surprise me.
They are also taking precautions for the team members that are keeping track with the social distancing through the house.
Yeah.
They have on face masks and a face shield. So I think that's a good idea to keep those people that are in like close contact with a bunch of people. They're taking extra precautions to keep them safe.
Also, keep in mind, it is a little unnerving, or I don't want to say unnerving. The queues look long. That's one thing that we've noticed here. Like, the lines look extremely long. The posted times, a lot of times, they're way overestimated, in my opinion.
Right.
And generally, where you see the line stretching to, it would be hours and hours normally. But with Universal is doing such a good job social distancing that with all the 6 feet in between every party,
right, the markers,
it's not that bad.
No.
The only thing I will say is the Bride of Frankenstein Lives, that queue, I can see because cast change that's something we want to mention. Cast change is taking a little bit longer,
right,
which is perfectly fine, and I honestly expected. Like, I'm glad they're taking all the safety precautions. But you might get stuck out in the middle of that plaza area, and Anna got a roasty, toasty yesterday. My fair-skinned wife hates snakes and the sun, apparently. So we're just going to enjoy our day until 3:20, which is when our virtual queue for Revenge of the Tooth Fairy is. We're going to ride some rides. We haven't done much of that this entire trip. We're going to go grab a bite to eat. I am starving. I know, shocker, right? And I don't know, we're just going to sort of try to have a fun day. We've done a lot of filming this whole time, and we have mad respect for all the other vloggers, because this is our first experience doing this stuff. It's very difficult. I don't know how you make it seem so easy, but our hats are off to you. Okay, so we actually were able to grab another virtual queue for a little bit earlier, so it's going to open up our day a little bit more. We got one for 2:10, so we are about to go get in line. Anna, I don't think you understand how excited I am. We just wanted to know how well they've done with the queue. Like, there's no backup. They're doing great with the social distancing. Anna said she was already backed up here yesterday, so I guess they may have learned from their mistakes, and it looks like we might just walk right in. So we finally caught up to the line. It is 2:10 on the dot right now. We will keep you updated to tell you exactly how long it takes us to get into the house. So we just got out of the house. It is 2:19. We got into the entrance of the house at like 2:14, 2:15. So we were only in line for like 4 or 5 minutes, and we were in the house for another 4 or 5 minutes. We are going to try to find somewhere a little quieter, a little bit better lighting, sit down, and we'll discuss the house. Okay, so it is a little too busy for us to find somewhere to sit, but I'm very excited to talk about this house. So we'll sort of go over the same thing that we went over for the Bride of Frankenstein house. Storyline for this one, pretty much, it tells you in the first little bit. It's about a child who says no to the tooth fairy. Spoiler alert, big mistake. So I thought the plot line was great for this one too. It was definitely a darker house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I expected when it was announced that it's like a Scary Tales type house. Like, expected it to be a little bit darker.
Yeah.
But it was, the storyline was significantly more, I don't know, morbid?
Yeah, it was a little more like gory of a house.
Yeah, it was definitely more of a traditional, what I call a traditional haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, lots of gore and just different scenes of, like, I can see why she was scared when she went in it by herself. Yeah. This isn't really a complaint, more of just an observation. With everything that's been going on and continues to go on, we felt that both houses may have been almost, I don't want to say cheap, but the level of detail wasn't there that has been in years past.
Yeah.
They were still spectacular.
Amazing.
I'm not taking anything away from them. I just think you can definitely see where this was, I'm not going to say just thrown together quickly, but it wasn't
their normal process.
Yeah, I don't think this was the houses that they had intended when they started planning for this a year ago. Like, this is definitely a COVID type house.
Okay, so I said yesterday that I liked the Bride of Frankenstein house better than Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. Now that you've been through both, what do you think?
Oof. It's really close for me. I think they're both fantastic. The scare actors in both of them were so, I don't know if it's because it's opening weekend and they're excited like we are. They were really into it, like really trying to get everyone, like even the people in front of us. It was just funny. You could watch them really getting into it. But for me, I think I liked the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy more.
Really?
Yeah, kind of a hot take for me. I tend to like the scarier, gorier, gory type haunted houses anyways. So yeah, I really enjoyed that walkthrough. I thought it was awesome. I love the idea. Mm-hmm. And the mask that they used for the scare actors in there, they were terrifying.
They are.
And some of the props and stuff, yeah. So just for comparison, earlier in the video we talked about at the Bride of Frankenstein house, they were giving you little glow sticks to sort of help separate the groups. And then in the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, they were just allowing you to socially distance yourself, and they had some markers on the floor and stuff. I will say this. I think going forward for the next couple weekends, or however long they do it, if they continue to do it, I think you'll see the glow sticks.
I agree. The group behind us kind of shuffled up onto us a little bit, kind of in the middle.
Yes.
And I think one of the attendants didn't really realize we were separate groups because the girl behind me was just right on top of me.
Just following us right there. So I think the glow sticks are going to be a thing this year. If they continue to do it. Once again, this is a test. But looking at the schedule and how they've extended hours and how busy it is here today.
Yeah.
All three parks hit capacity today.
Yeah.
By 10 o'clock. They're in the game for making money.
Yeah.
So I foresee the glow sticks here to stay, and I foresee the houses here to stay. So before we wrap this up, I will say I'm going to make a prediction. I've heard other people sort of clamoring about it. I've heard people talking about it. With how wildly successful today is, and like if they can maintain socially distancing and people will follow the rules, I kind of foresee maybe a couple more attractions. I don't know if it'll be houses. I foresee them opening up more and more things as the season continues.
I agree. I think they'll want to do that to keep people returning.
Yeah, it's because I wouldn't get tired of it if we lived down here, but I can see the developing team thinking that just 2 houses isn't enough.
Right.
And they might release things sort of in spurts to keep people entertained and to keep people flowing through the gates. Okay, guys, so that wraps up our trip. We are going to go ride a couple more things, grab a couple more frozen butter beers, and head for our flight. We've had a great time. It's nice being back in the parks. We can't wait to be back. But this will probably be the first video we release when we get home, so it'll seem kind of out of order. Just wanted to clarify. Kind of odd, whatever. Breaking the fourth wall. It's fine. Let us know down in the comment section if you have any questions about the houses, or which house you are most excited about seeing, or which one you liked best if you've already been through them.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you get an alert every time we post a new video.
Thanks for watching.